Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, your old pal Orpheus, with another edition of Orpheus Plays. And we're here yet again with Blade and Sorcery. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best ways to work out some aggression, have a little fun, get a workout, and, generally just murder kind of digital people. Speaking of getting a little bit of fun and workout in your life, how are you? How are you doing right now? Yeah? You can answer me, it's fine, I'll hear you. Yeah? Okay. Cool, that's good. Well, you're here for another little beatdown we're going to do here. And we're on survival mode again here, which means that there's waves of people that come out. You know what you know. If you're here watching this game and you've seen me do this before, you know exactly what's going on. So we've got our random weapons today. We have our skinning knife. And we have our Reverend sword. I don't know. That's a tough choice. I can either toss this at people for a little while or toss that. We'll do this. So, yeah. We're past the new year. Yay, we made it. I don't know. I mean, is that something to be excited about these days? I don't know. The passage of time, it's a wonderful thing. And don't at me if you're one of those people that says, you should relish every moment, man. Well, I play games like this, so I relish lots of moments. So, I've noticed lately a lot of people are traveling again. That's kind of cool, right? Have you gone anywhere lately? Yeah? I mean, you can tell me all about it in the comments if you want to. Traveling is good. Where are my, there we are. Alright, slow-mo killed. Start things off. Do I use the bucket? Let's deflect with the bucket. Oh, stab. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. We'll let her go down easy. Yes, you had a little sleep. Oh, that's good for you. All right. Now we got that out of the way. Yeah, speaking of travel, you ready for another set of... This is going to be like a compilation of stupid stories on this one. When I was a little younger, not too many years back, we lived in a state, or I lived in a state, where Canada was the most exotic place because you could get to it in just an hour or so from where I was. Thankfully, that leaves a lot of states here in the United States, so we don't have to worry about that in terms of, like, anything specific. Here we go. Yeah. Nope, you missed. You want some blade in the face? Stay there a second, I'll be right back. We'll go get this again. La 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 la. Not very good at throwing weapons today. Oop, dude. There we go. Yeah, nope. I didn't want to grab that. I wanted to grab the knife. So yeah, we went to Canada once in a while. And the cool part about it was, okay, so if you're 21 here in the States, it used to be, and I'm not sure if it still is this way, but you could go to Canada and drink at 19. I just heard that go whooshing off, and I don't know where it went. Well, thankfully, I have a backup. But yeah, you could go to Canada and drink when you were just 19. Oh, are you gone? There we go. Oh, lady fell down the hole. But yeah, you could go there. It was kind of like this exotic place because, like, the green was legal, if you know what I'm talking about. And I was at a time in my life right then that I had just discovered the old medicinal product today. I'm trying to keep it away from the censors. The algorithm in the first few minutes does not like when you talk about controversial things. So let's just say it was a time for 420 at that period in my life. I'd just started experimenting. I was feeling good about it, and you could go to Canada and get yourself a little toke once in a while. You get those nice Cuban cigars, right? All right. So the first story starts when I was 19. We used to go once in a while, go to one of those bars, party, kind of get a little stupid. We'd have to make our way across the border. And so, boy, the horror stories of trying to get across the border with a group of guys in a car, right? It's like 8 o'clock at night, and the border people are like, we know what you're here for. Come on. So, it was this one time that they just decided to pull us over and do a random search, right, on these American boys. And one of my friends had one single marijuana seed in the front like a footwell of the car. They tore the entire car apart. It was horrible. It was like 45 minutes. And then they left all the stuff sitting on the side there, and they're like, you clean that up. That's not the story, though. So there were a bunch of adult-themed, like, you know, strip joints, right? Might as well just say it. There are strip joints all over near the border. And there was a weird quirk back then. So all the women in the strip clubs went full nude. Okay, which was kind of a novelty because in most places in the United States, you couldn't really have a place like that. It was topless only, right? Well, in Canada, full nude. You still couldn't touch anybody, but, you know. All right. So, I'm at one of these clubs with a friend, and we're sitting there, and I'm just kind of like, wow, these ladies must make a lot of money. Like, people are stuffing money down there, like G-strings and stuff. They're like throwing money at them. And in case you're wondering, no, they don't throw loonies and toonies at the girls. No, they don't throw coins at them because that's their main lower form of payment. Oh. But no, they don't do that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, this would be a really good job to make a lot of money. Here's the part in the story where all of you say it together, or Orpheus is going to start to tell the embarrassing part. So, me in my mildly drunken stage decide, well, let me see, because they have a men's night at this thing, right? They have the male strippers come out and they do their thing. Oh, that was harsh, man. So, I go, oh, that was epic. So I go to the owner and I'm like, so I notice you have a men's night at this thing. He's like, yeah. What does it take to get involved in that? He's like, well, do you have a work permit? And he's like, where are you from? Do you have a passport? And stuff? I'm like, well, I'm an American. He goes, well, that might be a problem. I mean, we can't really like pay you an official paycheck or anything. And I'm like, well, I mean, all right, to be fair, here we go again. To be fair, I was not an unattractive young man back then. As a matter of fact, I was compared to, was it Christian Slater and Tom Cruise a little bit. Unfortunately, one guy told me I looked like Christian Slater and Tom Cruise if they had been smeared together in some sort of experiment. Screw you, buddy. Look what I am now, huh? Huh, you dick. But, so, I was not an unattractive lad. I may or may not be now. We'll leave that up to my wife because I'm gorgeous. And I'm good with that. So, I'm like, dude, you know, I could probably make you a little bit of money here. And he goes, okay, I'll tell you what. Men's night is coming up. I forget what it was. It was like a Thursday night or something. And this is during the summer, so I had all the free time I needed. And he's like, look, I'll pay you under the table. You get to keep, well, I think he said 75% of your tips. Oh, stop it, bro. No, stop it. Stop it. Oh, you're going over the shoulder, dude. Epic shoulder action. Ha! Is he dead? He's not. Take the taser blade you gave me. Suck it, nerd. And so he's like, I'll pay you under the table. You can keep 75% of the tips. The rest of it goes to me. I'm like, okay, that works. So here comes the Thursday. I'm so excited. It's a full crowd outside. I'm back in the dressing room. There's a whole bunch of other dudes that are like these muscly, oiled up guys. And I'm like, you know, I was a swimmer at the time, so I had a swimmer body going on. Nice stuff, right? But I did nothing to, like, you know, primp myself or shave down my body too much except for, like, you know, swim meets. So it wasn't like this pretty boy, right? I was, you know, athletic. But so these guys are all like, oh, you know, it's gonna be another good night out there. We got plenty of people. We're gonna make lots of cash. Yay! And I'm nervous, but I'm excited. You know, I mean, come on, put yourself in my shoes there. First time that you ever go out to do something like this, to be a stripper in a foreign country, being paid under the table, right? So, mildly terrified, mildly excited. It's my turn. I go out. And about 5 minutes before I got there, I heard a lot of kind of noise going on out in the main part of the strip joint. And it sounded like a bunch of hens, honestly. So it's my turn. I go out, and in the front is a bachelorette party of 40-something older ladies. And apparently one of them had gotten divorced. Well, the only reason I knew this is because she was wearing a t-shirt that said recently divorced on it. Oh boy, the t-shirt industry, you got that covered, right? So, she recently divorced, about 6 of her friends, and they're all in the front row. And they were just, before I came out, they were tossing money and whooping and hollering and everything. Guys, if you think that you're rude and kind of creepy in a strip joint with ladies, women can be very bad. I'll tell you, I only did this one night, and I'll tell you why. So I come out and I'm dancing, I'm doing my thing, just kind of, rocking out. This was not a full nude club for men. Thankfully, I wasn't swinging the banana or anything. But I did have a Speedo on, something I was completely used to at that point, like I said. And I'm dancing, I'm doing my thing, and suddenly, the ladies noticed me. They were having their drinks and doing their toasts and giving all their little divorce gifts or whatever the hell they were doing. Suddenly, all of them noticed me. And I guess they had to have been from New York because, oh, dear Lord, it was like, oh my God, he's so hot. Oh, come over here, you think you're such a hot young kid. Oh, come here. And they started giving me money, but they also started rubbing my legs and stuff. So they're all like, oh God, you're so hot. So I'm standing up on a stage, right? And they're down in the crowd and they're starting to stroke my calves and my ankles and stuff. Like, what the hell you do? I'm looking at the bouncer and he's just shrugging. I'm like, so I guess they're allowed to touch me or something. So I'm still dancing away, and it's the only reason I'm staying out on the dance floor is because they're throwing money at me. The whole place is just tossing money. I'm getting more and more freaked out as these older ladies are pawing at me and you need to come home with us. Come on, we'll treat you good. I'm very experienced and stuff. So I get done with my dance. The owner comes up, he's like, yeah, how'd you do? I'm like, I show him this pile of money. It had to be $300-400. And he's like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'll take my cut. Took his cut. He's like, yes, you're going to go out again tonight? I'm like, no, I'm not. He says, you going to come back next week? No, thank you. So I went home. It was the drive of shame home. I'm just in my car, just what did I do? Why did I do that? I immediately, when I got home, I showered, and I mean, it was the epic shower, 45 minutes long, scrubbed with every soap I had, just kind of mildly sobbing to myself the whole time, what did I do? Looking back at it now, it's awesome, but when I was in the midst of it, it was just it's another one of those instances of what the hell was I thinking? Alright, so that's the story of that. So, let's go back to the talking about the marijuana. So I just gotten out of the Navy. We're flashing forward a whole bunch of years here. And I had been, seasoned and jaded by the world at this point. Oh, gotcha. No, computer. Stop throwing the fireballs at me, dick. Have some snacks. So, just get out of the Navy. I had to stay with my parents because another story that will be coming up in the future is my ex-wife telling me that we were separated officially once I was in the Navy. She decided to tell me this about 9 months after, but whatever. She didn't want to take me in because her roommates didn't like me, whatever. So I'm staying with my parents, the ultimate humiliation. and they're just being assholes, right? It's one of the times that I had to drive with them from Florida across the entire country to get back home with my parents in a minivan. Oh God, that was living hell, because again, I had been married to a woman they despised at that point. Well, so I was when I was out in California right before that. No, I'd gotten out of the Navy. I went to California. I dicked around. That was the 9 months when my ex-wife decided to tell me that, you know, by the way, we've been separated this whole time and I've been sleeping with other people. I'm like, okay. Well, so I had met a guy out there who was a journalist for a Canadian broadcast company. No, and it wasn't CBC. It was, I think it was an ABC affiliate out of like Toronto or something. Yeah, that's what it was. So he was a good friend. He was going back home around the same time that I left California. And there's a story behind that one too that we'll tell eventually. Oh dear Lord, that was bad. Anyway, so I meet him. He's cool. He has a lot of connections, and I was like, yeah, you know, that'll be awesome. I can maybe get back to my home and kind of give him a call. He's in the region, you know, just a couple hour drive away. And so go back home, living at home, and I did not want to be in reality at that point. I was miserable. I'm like, my parents immediately put me back under a curfew with rules and shit. And I was like, almost 30 at this point. It's like, you gotta be kidding me, right? My house, my rules. I'm like, yeah, I guess that works if you're 22 or something, but completely ridiculous when you're my age. You know? But you're okay, whatever. So I was like, I really want to get stoned. Like, I really, really want to get stoned at this point. And I knew nobody in my home state at that point. I'd been out of like the state for at least 6 years or something at that point. So everyone that I knew had moved on or not had anything. One of my old standard guys who used to repair my cars, in my family's cars, he didn't even have anything when I called him. He was like, no, I don't have anything right now. It's crap. So I'm thinking, and I'm like, well, I used to smoke with that Canadian guy out in California, right? So I give him a call, and he's like, hey, you know, I think I might have found a job for you. You know, it's out of whatever city, not going to say. And he's like, you know, you send me your resume. He's like, I'll pass it on to these guys. I'm like, cool. But that's not why I'm calling. He's like, what? Well, what do you need? I said, you know, can I come visit? And he said, yeah. You know, you want to just hang out? I'm like, honestly, I need some smoke, man. And he's like, okay, yeah, I think we can set that up. He's like, I got some friends. So I'm like, okay. Well, so before I went, I got this brilliant thing, which these days is not that novel, but back then it was pretty cool. It was a Dr. Pepper can. Was it Dr. Pepper or Sprite? It was one of the two. I still have it somewhere. And already you're like, I know what he's talking about. Yeah. It's a soda can that has the top cut off, and they poured some plaster in there and have a little jar in there. So it's like a secret stash thing. You put whatever you want in here, your tobacco products or whatever you don't want anyone to see, and you go to, you put it in there, and then you buy a 6-pack of whatever drink that is, and you put it in the cooler with it, and ta-da, right? So I'm like, this is foolproof. They'll never find this, right? No, there's no way. This is the perfect plan. So get on the road, and I'm like, this is awesome. Another time I'm gonna be able to stay with my friend for a while, get stoned for a few days with him and his friends. His friends had an Xbox 360 at that point, and it was going to be a cool time, just hanging out, mainly being away from my folks. Oh, no. That's a precision shot, bro. You'll only get that with a patented Orpheus kill. So, yeah, got to, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get to hang out. This is gonna be sweet. I got my little stash hidden thing. Nope, no you don't. Got my, and I'm gonna be very sneaky. Get to the weed across the border. Okay. So I get close to the border. I'm kind of like tidying up because if you've never been across the Canadian border or the Mexican border, oh no, they do the the whole thing like, what's your nationality? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? What's the purpose of your trip? How many days are you gonna be there? Oh no, okay. And they would, ooh, dude, you hurt your friend very badly, and now it's time for me to dispense justice. Hi. Oh. There you go. So I'm getting all excited. I'm like prepping the car because I don't want to. They do what they say is like random most of the time. Those, I'll pull over to the side. We're gonna do a little extra search. They say it's random, but I'm pretty positive it's like, you look like a stoner. We're going to pull you over and have a little bit of a search. Where are you dead now? Wow, again, these NPCs have been fragile. No, you don't. Get up to the border. Got the border. Very nice. He's a decent dude. I mean, they're always a little bit intimidated, but he's nice. He's like, where are you coming from? Where are you going to? What's your nationality? What's the purpose of your visit? And I'm like, just gonna hang out with friends and stuff. And he's like, do you have anything to declare? No, nothing to declare. He's like, do you have any food or drinks in the car? I'm like, yes, I do. Because I had already bought a six-pack and a cooler in order to get this marijuana past the border, right? So, okay. So I'm like, yeah, I do have some food and drink. He's like, okay, I mean, is it something that you bought here, or did you bring it, from home? And I'm thinking, why is he asking me these questions? Like, I don't have anything. Am I acting suspicious? He's like, okay, well, why don't you pull over to the side? We're just going to do a little extra look through. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I don't have anything illegal, right? So they start tearing apart my car. And not like the full knives in the seats, kind of thing. They're just kind of tearing apart the car. They're looking through it. And they get to the cooler. Apple time. And can I damage him with the apple? Yes. Oh, apple cores are my best friend. Yeah, but they go. So he starts pulling. He gets to the cooler and he's like, all right. Opens it up. Sees a six-pack. And I had forgotten to take one of the cans out of the six-pack. So now there are 7 sodas in the cooler. And he's like, okay. And he starts like kind of picking up the things. And he kind of shakes the six-pack. And he's like, okay. And he gets to the 7th soda and he picks it up. And he kind of shakes it. And he kind of shakes it again. And he puts it up to his ear and he shakes it. There's nothing in it at this point. It's just an empty glass jar inside of a hollowed out aluminum can. Oh, dude, we're doing fireballs. Fireball! Yes. All right. So he's shaking it. He looks at me. He's like, "What's this?" I don't know. It was in here. I thought it was in the fridge. I just thought I'd take it with me. He's like, uh-huh. He starts unscrewing the top. Because, of course they've seen this thing before. But I was like, this is brilliant. They'll never know that it's in there, right? So he opens it up, and he's got this look, because he's opening it up in front of me like this, right? So, like, he can't see in, and I can't see in. And he pops the top, and he kind of holds it to me, and then he looks at it, and his eyes go wide, because there's nothing in there. And he looks at me, he's like, what's this for? So, my money for when I go out of my hotel room when I'm staying somewhere. He's like, I thought you said you stayed with... I thought you said you were staying with friends. Yeah. So he's like, all right, time to pull the car apart a little better. So they spend about a half an hour. They take the back seat out of my car, empty out my bags, look through everything in my toiletry kit. Wow. I blew her up so hard she went into the wall. So they're going through everything. The whole time they're looking at me like I'm some, master spy from America. It's like, all right, just calm down. They didn't find anything, of course. So, successfully, well, not so successfully, at least I didn't get arrested or anything, get across the border. They confiscated the hidden, take the balls in the balls. Yes. Why does this have to be so much nut overkill? Like, check this out. All right, hold on. I'm going to bash that, and immediately all of those go into his nuts and kill him. Not complaining. I'm sure that they are. Oh. So, yeah, get across the border, make that drive, and this is a city in Ontario. Not going to say where it is again, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. And so I get to my friend's house. We're hanging out. He's like, hey, do you want to go to a club? I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. Go to a club. The club gets robbed that night. I'll go into that one another time. It got robbed by a couple of guys that, where were they? They didn't have masks on or anything. They had, like, toques, like they call them toques. They're like a knitted hat with a poof on top. I'm not going to tell that story right now. That was a weird story. Anyway, after that, the next day we go to his friend's house. His friend's house is like marijuana heaven. They've got just bags and bags of it. They've got keef. They didn't really have concentrates back then. We didn't have those fancy, strong things back then. We only had flour, right? So they had like, they were the people that were just like, it was a bunch of guys living in a house. So it's like they didn't have to hide anything from anybody. So, bongs out everywhere. They used a coffee grinder to chop up the flour and everything. They're rolling joints the whole time, just like, hey buddy, how you doing? Come on in, grab a joint, light it up. They're playing GTA. I had never seen that game, and where did my sword go, you bastard? Where's my sword? Hey, I'll use you instead. Nope, you get nothing. I'll use my lady chuck. Hi. Where'd you go? Oh. Here, you go in the well. So yeah, we're chilling, we're hanging out. It's a few hours. We're going outside and having a smoke once in a while, because they didn't like cigarette smoke in their house. You could blow bong hits wherever you wanted, right? But no, none of that dirty cigarette smoke. So go outside a few times. One of the times I go outside is with the guy that's friends with my friend that I'd met in California. Really good friends with him. And he was the one that had been called. Like for, my friend needs a little smoke. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, can I buy anything? He's like, yeah, what do you need? It's like, I don't know, maybe an eighth or something, right? I don't know. I'm like, whatever you can spare. Oh, what happened to his feet? Oh, no. Oh, looks like the Wicked Witch stuck under the house. Hold on. Oh, damn, he disappeared. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, what do you need? I'm like, maybe just an eighth or something. He's like, okay. So how are you going to get it back across the border? I'm like, I don't know. So then I start thinking, I'm like, they gave me a hard time last time. I was really suspicious, and I had this, smuggling can that they confiscated. Like, I'm sure they've taken notes at some point, right? So they bring up your license plate and your ID, and it's like, oh, yeah, well, last time we stopped this guy, he was attempting to smuggling things into the country to facilitate some smuggling back in. It's like, okay, a little weird. So I'm like, damn it, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't, So I went all the way to Canada, got caught at the border before I went, and that getting caught at the border made it so I didn't want to get caught at the border on the way. Anyway. Yeah, Canada, man. The exotic land where the Yoopers and, hey, how you doing? It's, sorry I was a little late there, I had a little bit of I got some donuts at the Tim Hortons, eh? I love Canadian people. They're some of the nicest people in the world. If you're watching from Canada, how you doing, eh? You have some poutine. Poutine is probably my wife and my favorite junk food. It is the most... Uh-oh. He wants out. He wants out. Is someone alive down the well? Is that what's going on here? It's Timmy's stuck in the well, Lassie. Does he need insulin? Oh. Susan's stuck in the well. She needs insulin. Let's deliver it to her with this specially designed syringe that I missed with. Well, no. Oh, God. Slow motion in the well. Take that, lady. So, yeah. Canada. Canada. The spawn of so many dumb things from my youth. Again, I am amazed I didn't either, like, die or get arrested or something along the way. Because, man, bad choices. So, I guess the lesson today is, don't be stupid if you're going to go to another country. There's been a lot of examples of that in the news lately. I'm not going to go into them. This is not a place where we do anything like that. This is a place where you come to escape, get away from your troubles, spend a little time with me, Orpheus, here on Orpheus Plays. We're going to see you next time. And, in the meantime, take care of yourself. You deserve it. Bye.